Lucy and Tim's confirmed the rookie plot is happening at the worst time. What if I told you Lucy and Tim's reunion isn't the happy ending fans begged for? It's the beginning of something far more dangerous. Because just when they've finally found their way back to each other, the job, the pressure, and the lies waiting in the shadows, they're about to rip them apart. And no one, not even their closest allies, will see it coming. You think Chenford's story is about romance. It's not. It's a ticking time bomb. And it's already begun counting down for years. The rookie fans have held their breath, watching Lucy Chen and Tim Bradford tiptoe toward a romance forged through fire, trauma, and loyalty. But while their chemistry burned bright, something darker always lingered underneath. A storm waiting for its chance to break them. Now, with Season 8 confirmed to bring them back together, there's just one problem. Everything has changed. Lucy's promotion, her new responsibilities, her growing ambition. They're not just adding pressure. They're rewriting the rules. You see, when Tim made breakfast and whispered that he wanted them to move in together, Lucy didn't even hear him, because she was already asleep, exhausted, overwhelmed, alone, and that's just the beginning. They fought for this. They nearly lost it all to get here. So why does it feel so wrong now? The answer lies in what no one's talking about. Not the sergeant's exam, not the shifts, not even their romantic tension. It's the silence between them. The words they never said, the secrets Tim kept, the guilt Lucy swallowed, the trust they pretended to rebuild, but never truly did. And here's where it gets terrifying. This is not just about love. It's about survival. Because in a world where emotions can compromise judgment, and judgment can get you killed, Lucy and Tim's feelings might be their deadliest liability yet. Let me tell you something most viewers missed. Something hidden in plain sight. When Bradford confessed in the Season 7 finale, he wasn't just making amends. He was testing her. Testing whether Lucy could forgive him. Without knowing everything. Because what if Bradford's old habits didn't stay buried? What if the truth about his past isn't fully revealed yet? What if his demons are still closer to the surface than anyone suspects? And what if Lucy, now leading a team, juggling political scrutiny, and taking the night shift alone, is walking right and watching her back? Except maybe someone who shouldn't be. There's something coming in Season 8. Something the showrunner hinted at, but never confirmed. A force that could rip through everything Tim and Lucy have tried to rebuild. It's not just the job. It's not just the hours. It's a shadow from the past, a figure that knows exactly how to exploit them both. Who is it? We'll get there. But first, we need to go deeper. Because the real problem isn't what's happening between them, it's what's happening inside them. Lucy Chen has always been the fighter. The underdog. The one who outworks, outlasts, and overcomes. But in Season 8, she's facing something she can't outwork: isolation. Her new role means she's running solo. Her team is unreliable. She's answering calls with no backup. She's drained, running on fumes. And the man she loves, he's not beside her. He's waiting for her. And she has no time left to wait. This isn't tension. It's erosion. The slow crumble of connection under the weight of duty. And when connection breaks, mistakes happen. Big ones. If you've made it this far, you're already deep in this story. So don't just watch it happen, own it. Hit subscribe and join us as we uncover the truths nobody else is daring to tell. You won't regret it, but if you miss what's coming next, you will be left behind. Now let's talk about Tim. Bradford's known for being stoic, cold even, but this man is unraveling, quietly. You didn't see it when he made breakfast. But you should have, because that wasn't a peace offering. It was desperation. He's losing her, and he knows it. He trained her, protected her, fell in love with her. But he doesn't know how to be with her now that she doesn't need him anymore. And that realization? It's shattering him. Because what if loving Lucy means letting her go? And what if holding on means ruining her career? And maybe even her safety? There's something you weren't told about Lucy's promotion. Gray warned her. Not just about the politics. Not just about leadership, but about Tim. He saw this coming. He knew the lines between personal and professional were already blurred. He knew that if they couldn't separate their emotions from their decisions, People could get hurt. And Lucy, she's already on thin ice, taking calls alone, running too hot, pushing herself beyond reason. Why? Because she's trying to prove something. Not to her team, not to Gray, but to Tim. That she can be his equal. That she doesn't need saving, even if she secretly wants to be saved. So what happens when Lucy collapses from the weight? What happens when she takes a call she can't handle alone, and Tim's not there to stop it? What happens when trust erodes so much that neither of them recognizes what they once had? That's not just drama, it's disaster. And it's coming fast. But here's where it gets darker. There's one person watching it all unfold. Someone waiting in the wings. Someone with a grudge. They've been forgotten by the others, but not by us. Remember what I told you. There's someone watching Lucy and Tim, not with admiration, not with pity, but with intent. And that someone is about to strike. But it won't be with violence. Not at first. No, it's going to start with doubt, division. Subtle pressure. Just enough to make Tim question her, and Lucy. She'll begin questioning herself. But who is this ghost in their story? Who's standing in the shadow of their fragile reunion? It's someone both of them failed. His name, Seth Ridley. He made a sacrifice. He put his life on the line. And now, he's being erased. No medals, no glory, no redemption. Just silence. But silence is where revenge takes root. Ridley trusted Lucy, and she walked away. He respected Tim, and Tim stayed quiet. They moved on. He didn't. And now, he's back. You're not as a villain, but as a variable. One that threatens the very foundation of Chenford's future. Because what do you do when the past you buried starts whispering again? Lucy Chen is not the same woman from season 1. She's more confident, more independent, more powerful. But that power comes with a price. She doesn't know how to ask for help anymore. She doesn't trust anyone to have her back. And the moment she starts doubting Tim's loyalty, it's game over, because every late night call, every reckless assignment, every solo op she takes on without backup, it's not just dangerous, it's personal. Lucy isn't trying to do the job. She's trying to outrun her fear that she's no longer the same girl Tim fell in love with. And that maybe, just maybe, he doesn't love this version of her at all. Now let's be honest about Tim. He doesn't know how to love someone who doesn't need him. His entire identity was built around being the protector, the fixer, the backbone. But Lucy, she's evolved beyond him. And that terrifies him. That's why he didn't push harder when she didn't hear his confession. That's why he hasn't followed up. That's why he's retreating. Because he'd rather lose her than be the reason she fails. It's noble. It's tragic. And it's going to break them. Because Lucy doesn't need nobility. She needs honesty. And Tim has no idea how to give it to her. Not without reopening the scars he spent years trying to hide. But everything you've seen so far, it's child's play compared to what's coming. In Season 8, the showrunner teased a challenge that will test everything Tim and Lucy think they've repaired. Their patience. Their trust. Their truths. It's not about promotions. Not even about their past. It's about what happens when one of them makes the wrong call and someone innocent pays the price. That moment, that consequence, will become the single greatest fracture in Chenford's history. And it won't be the enemy that causes it. It'll be each other. Lieutenant Gray isn't just a mentor. He's a mirror. He sees what they can't. And in a private conversation no one was supposed to overhear, he gave a warning that changes everything. To Lucy, your job isn't to prove yourself. It's to survive. To Tim, if you keep protecting her, you'll end up destroying her. And to both of them, the badge doesn't care how much you love each other, but it will punish you if you let it matter in the field. They didn't listen, but they will. After it's too late, it starts with a call. Late night, Chen's shift. A report of a domestic disturbance in a quiet neighborhood. She responds alone. No backup, no partner. Inside the house, nothing looks off. No screaming. No chaos. Just a man. Smiling. Holding a cup of tea. Lucy hesitates, but she steps in. It's protocol. It's instinct. And it's a trap. Because the man she's facing, he's not a stranger. He's from her past. A ghost she didn't know she left behind. There's something fans never saw. A detail buried in Lucy's undercover days. A mission classified, sealed, forgotten. But someone never forgot. One of her old covers, a role she played too well, left a trail of broken loyalties. And now? That trail leads right back to her door. The man waiting inside that house? He knows her. By another name. By another face. And he's not looking for revenge. He's looking for closure. One that only her death can deliver. Tim gets the call too late. He hears her voice over the radio. Distant. Calm. Professional. But something's off. She doesn't say the code. Doesn't confirm backup. His heart races. He knows that voice. He trained her to hide fear. But he knows what it sounds like under her breath. He gets in his car. Drives faster than he ever has. But it might not be fast enough. Because when he gets there, the door is open. The lights are off. And Lucy is gone. Everything changes now. This isn't about love anymore. It's about rescue. It's about revenge. It's about redemption. And it all leads to a decision Tim never thought he'd have to make. Break the law to save Lucy? Or let the system run its course and risk losing her forever? Because there's one more secret. A final truth we haven't revealed. Lucy is gone. Tim is spiraling, and everything they fought for now hangs by a thread. But this isn't an isolated incident. This is a message. Someone wanted Lucy off the board. Someone needed Tim broken. And someone orchestrated it from the inside. This isn't a random event. This is a play, a move in a bigger game. And the opponent knows them both. Intimately. The enemy pulling the strings, Rosalind Dyer. But how? She's dead, right? That's what they told us. That's what they wanted us to believe. But there's something off. Inconsistencies in the footage. A missing body, a sealed report, and one phrase, buried in redacted text, asset status unconfirmed. Potentially relocated, Rosalind's game never ended. She simply evolved, moved deeper into the shadows. And now she's playing chess again, using Lucy and Tim as her pawns. She doesn't want to kill Lucy.
Not yet, that would be too easy.
Too kind. She wants Tim to watch Lucy unravel. To blame himself. To become what she always said he could be. A man shaped by loss, drowning in guilt. And Lucy? She's meant to lose faith. In the system. In her team. In herself, she's isolated. Emotionally fractured. Her mind pulled back into the darkness she swore she'd never return to. And with every second that passes, she slips further from the surface. Tim has two choices. Wait, follow orders. Trust the system. Or break every rule. Dig into sealed files. Leverage off the book's contacts. Call in favors from people who don't exist in official databases. And he does it. Every single step. Because Lucy isn't just a partner. She's his reason. And for the first time, Tim Bradford is willing to sacrifice everything to save her. Even if it means losing his badge. Even if it means becoming the thing he used to hunt. 3 days after her disappearance, a GPS ping. Not from Lucy's phone, but from an old transmitter, one she used undercover years ago. Coordinates lead to an abandoned motel. Middle of nowhere, lights flickering. Camera smashed. Tim walks in, gun drawn. And then he sees her. Alive, breathing, but not the same. Lucy sits silently in the corner, hands bound, eyes hollow. But here's the twist. There's no captor. No signs of a struggle. No blood. No threats. Just one thing written on the wall in lipstick. You already lost her. She doesn't speak for 2 days. Doctors say she's in a trauma-induced shutdown. Not physical harm. Psychological detonation. Whatever Rosalind did to her, it wasn't torture. It was manipulation. Words. Memories. A twisting of her greatest fears. Lucy's toughest opponent wasn't a criminal. It was her own mind, guided by a puppet master who knew exactly where to strike. Tim tries to stay strong, but guilt devours him. He blames himself for every second she was gone, every moment he hesitated, every doubt he ever had. He visits her daily, reads to her, talks to her, and slowly, she returns. Not fully, not quickly, but piece by piece. Until one night, she whispers a single sentence. She said you'd break. Tim doesn't respond, because he knows. It's true. He did. But broken things aren't useless. They're stronger where the cracks have healed. Lucy begins training again. Physical first, then tactical. She insists she's fine, that she's ready. But there's one thing she doesn't do. She doesn't say Tim's name. Not once. Because she's still not sure if he's her anchor or her weakness. But Rosalind, she was just the first layer. There's someone else. Someone more dangerous, more connected. Someone in uniform, a mole high, ranking, protected. invisible. And they're not targeting Lucy. They're targeting all of mid-Wilshire, using Tim and Lucy's chaos to cover their moves. Season 8 isn't about love anymore. It's about infiltration. It's about corruption. It's about the collapse of everything these characters have built. And Chenford, they're no longer the heart of the story. They're the detonator. The season ends not with a kiss, not with a reunion, but with a line of dialogue that will haunt every fan. Lucy turns to Tim and says, "Next time, don't save me. Stop them," and walks away. The screen fades to black, and the war officially begins. They said Chenford was endgame. But what if they were just the beginning? What if Lucy and Tim aren't meant to heal each other, but to destroy the system that broke them? What if Season 8 isn't a romance, but a revolution? One that starts with love and ends in blood. Subscribe now, because the next secret we uncover will blow the lid off everything you thought you knew about the rookie. And trust me, you won't see it coming.